Mayara.
Here.
Ms. Ramsey. Here. Peter P. Pasquale.
Here.
Mr. Phillips.
Okay, we have a quorum. Everybody received the minutes from the last meeting? Is there any discussion? Is there a move for approval? Move by Gilbert, second.
My second.
By Dino. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, item 4, Development 2015-003, Site Plan, St. George Coptic Orthodox Church.
Okay, this particular site plan is being reviewed under our old land development code, not the new one, because it was submitted and reviewed back before March 1st. So I just want to clarify that. We're going through a transition here, and so we'll eventually get there, but we're going to have a few come through that you might see under the new code. I think for this board, it might be the only one that we have to do that. Okay. First of all, just going to slide through one note I want to show you on this thing is coming up here. If it works, is that working?
Yes.
Okay. I'm trying to change it to the map. We on? I should be able to see an aerial coming up here. Okay, there we go. That's a 2006 aerial, so not that long ago. And you can see there's no parking lot on the site. There's grass. People at that time were parking in that area, but on the grass. There was in 2007 a addition with the church for primarily the school section of the church, and so that was added. So you can see the facility as it's been improved in 2007. That actually, I think it took to 2009 to actually get that building up and get the other improvements, and you have the parking lot. So this is a 2012 aerial photo that shows you those changes. And then you can see to the uppermost part of the screen, or on that site, that area is not improved, and that's part of the subject of tonight's site plan, is to expand the parking lot in that section that is at the upper part of your screen, which is the northernmost part of the property. Okay, and then the expansion of the building, 1,200 square feet, is at the south end of the property on the main church. And hopefully you've had a chance to look at the plans and see where the addition is, and that is the area that it's going to add a lot more of the seating, and therefore you need to have and meet the parking requirements. We're under the old code. It was one parking space for every 5 seats, so that's the calculation used. We've gone up from the 55 to, let me check my notes here.
80.
We're all, pardon me?
I think it said 80 somewhere.
Yeah, 80. Or was it 80 or 85? Okay. Yeah, about 80 spaces is what it goes up to from about 55. So that's what you have in front of you. There's a landscape plan, and there's some technical requirements throughout this site plan that need to be addressed. And I'll just quickly go through those for you if I can find where I put those. Okay. 3 items. One is that the height is going to need a variance. That's going to be something we're going to ask you in the next item on the agenda. But right now, Just want to point out that that's one of the issues. The other issue is all of those technical requirements I was just mentioning that deal with some of the utilities, and staff is going to be with you making a condition tonight, we'll look at those technical issues and try to resolve some things that are going on with where some of the utility lines are underneath, and we won't issue any kind of final approval until those requirements are satisfied, so that we meet the land development code as it was written. The last thing is the landscape plan itself, and we will need the landscape architect to certify the plan. And I think other than that, I think staff is certainly finds that the improvements, what you would see out there is going to be, I think, an excellent improvement for the area. It really fits in with the neighborhood. If you look at the decorative fencing and the way they've landscaped around it up to this point, I think they're good neighbors, and we're recommending that the board approve the site plan tonight.
Okay. I see a representative from Augustine Builders out there, and I also see David Lee. Would you like to add?
I don't really have anything to add
Okay.
unless you got questions.
Okay.
It look like exactly what's there now, and we will extend the fence.
Okay. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to speak to this? Seeing none, board comments? Is there a motion for approval?
I'll move to approve.
Moved by Dino, second. Second by Gilbert. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? 4-0. Okay, next item number 5.
Okay. This is the follow-up to the site plan, and that is to allow for the variance in the height. 35 feet is the required height in this area. The bell tower is going to be up to 48 feet. Pretty typical of places of worship, and so recommend that the board recommend to the Board of Adjustments that they approve the variance in the height.
Okay, is there anybody in the audience who'd like to speak to this? Seeing none, discussion? Motion? Gilbert moves for approval.
I second.
Second by Suzanne. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, passes. 4-0. Okay, item number 6, and by the way, the bell tower, everything's beautiful. Item number 6, redevelopment update.
Okay. Thank you, David.
You're welcome.
Couple things is, obviously, we have we don't have a full board yet. We've got at least one application in for this board, but we could use some more applicants who are eligible to either live in or have a business within the Main Street redevelopment or South Atlantic redevelopment area. And as you all know now, you are the Beachside Redevelopment Board. Made it a shorter name.
The BS board.
Yes, the BS Board, that's right. So what we'd like to do is in the next month, would take care of the elections. So you have a chair and a vice chair going forward here for the new board. Hopefully we'll have appointments between now and then. And we'd also ask that the bylaws be updated by this board, reflect the name, and then if there was any other changes you want to make. So we'll get that out to you in that packet. And then also would like to make sure that we get this new land development code to you, and the way we propose to do that is not by bulk paper, but by a CD. Okay? And if you want to use to get paper, you can.
What I did, I just went to VIP Printing, had them take the link, and front and back, this cost me $50, so that you know.
Good to know. Good to know. Okay, so that's the extent of my comments this evening. It's Bike Week, a lot going on, and I don't want to hold anyone up.
Any updates on the Russian hotel, or?
It's all moving along, in the Hard Rock as well. So there's nobody has said stop. Everyone is moving forward, and I think we're all optimistic that we'll see something happen soon. I wish I just had a date I could tell you something significant is going to happen, but I don't.
And how about the Desert Inn, the remodeling?
I know that's moving forward in some form, but I don't know, because I've not been in some recent meetings, how that's going.
Okay.
Sunsetter seems to be doing very well. They've had a lot of traffic. A lot of people that have been there have been talking positively about Sunsetter, so I feel good about that new establishment.
Yeah, we're hearing some good reports, and they're new, and they're already apparently doing pretty good.
You know, this shortened agenda, do you think that with the changes of what comes before the board, that this is going to be indicative of what we're going to see in the future?
I think it's going to be the economy that gives us what's indicative in the future. And as you know, from now on, you'll be looking at site plans that are 20,000 square foot or more in size. So it will have to be somewhat significant in terms of what comes before you. It's just that under this case, we're under the old rules. Now we're going to go to the new land development code. It'll change a few things, but you're still going to look at rezoning. Still going to look at some of the other items that will legislatively go before the planning board, city commission, and making those recommendations. So that doesn't stop. And there will be times when staff is doing something and there's an appeal, and there are some appeals that will still come to you in terms of appearance. Something happens out there that you've seen a few of those, I think. Some of you that have been here long enough seen that people don't necessarily agree with staff's decisions.
I don't see anybody in the audience. Number 7 is public comments. So I guess we'll start with Gilbert on board comments.
Yeah, I just wanted to have more information about the new code, but I guess you answered the question. It's going to be also available on the CD pretty soon.
And I told VIP Printing, if you want a copy, all you have to do is call them and mention to them to give you exactly what I have. It's $50, and you could just go right through it.
And you can get it online, of course, right now on our website.
Well, you do expect, as you address some things with the new code, that there will be some modifications coming forward.
There are modifications.
So it might be
going
nice
forward.
to get it on a disk format so that it'd be easy to update.
It is. I mean, we have on disk, but so it's very editable when we need to do so. But what we need is for all of you to be able to access it in a convenient way. Online works, but it's easier to search a PDF
Right.
if you have.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay, Gilbert, anything else?
Nope.
Okay, none. Suzanne?
Yeah, so who has the oversight now on everything that's 20,000 square feet and less, like that we used to go over, like all the stuff on Main Street and the restaurant, the bar? Who has the oversight on that now?
The staff. It's administrative.
Okay.
And we do have some people who are qualified as architects and design professionals that would be involved in that process. Especially when we get to the much larger projects that we'll see through here, we'll be involving them as well.
So the only time, for instance, that we would see anyone is if they were if staff, they didn't agree with staff's decision, and then they would appeal it, and the appeal would first come to this board?
Well, it'd come to this board, and that you would be the final arbiter in some of those cases, like we had with,
Before
the windows or
all the stuff on Main Street and A1A and all that?
Yeah,
The
hopefully
businesses?
not too much is coming your way in that form. I think it's the 20,000 square feet and more that we want to see that will come your way.
Okay. Now, can you explain to me what the parameters are or requirements are for the new members on this board? As far as where they have to reside,
Sure.
own business, etc.
Sure. It's pretty straightforward.
All 7 members.
Well, all 7 voting members. Mr. Harper is an ex officio, but all of the rest are going to be someone who either lives in one of the redevelopment areas or has a business in the redevelopment area. And that issue of having a business, you can be working for someone, and you can be employed, for example, with the Hilton. Mm-hmm. And we've had that before. We've had someone here from the Hilton who was a manager, and they were eligible to be on the board.
Yeah, Angela Cameron.
Right.
Daniels.
Then why would Teresa Doan not have been eligible? She owns businesses in the area.
Some people term out. In her case, she was at a point of terming out.
Oh.
She technically could have gone on another year. That was not something that she decided that.
That's what was confusing me about the rules, because I was trying to figure out.
Because she
That's what's
started
one of the
mid-year.
persons that was confusing me.
Yeah, it technically,
Got it
we were
now.
almost 2 years, so, it's just a clean break, and we're able to move on with new people. And
So 2 don't have to own businesses, and 4.
No.
And it's just every member either has to own a business or reside in the area,
Right, and then one more.
or work for a
Okay,
business
then
in
there's
the
one
area.
more thing, and that is a majority of the 7 has to be a resident of the city. So if we look around, we'll see some people here are not. We actually have 3 that are not living within the city limits at this time, which means that everyone else that's going to be eligible has to be a city resident in addition to having a business or be a resident.
So you have to have 4, you have to have 4, majority of 4 people that not only either own a business or work for business or live in the area, they have to be a resident of the city of Daytona Beach, 4 of us.
4.
Okay. Got it. That's good, because I was
Yeah.
really confused. And I've had people ask me, and I can't tell them, I've actually had a few people that say they want to apply for the board, and I said, I'm confused.
Here's what I'll tell you about the whole code. It's less confusing than it was before.
Yeah, right.
Whether it's the board, or anything else we're doing here, hopefully, it's a lot more straightforward. It appears, because it got tested with the developers in the community, that it's something that they understand and the citizens have looked at and they understand, and we could all come to some agreement that, hey, this is going to work. This is going to be something people from the outside coming here to our community as investors can look at and say, now you're up with the times, you're streamlining, you're doing some things to make this a much more efficient process, and that's great.
Okay.
So as long as we get those continued kinds of reviews, and we as staff are administering this properly, and making sure we don't get any trouble with our attorneys doing so, we're gonna be thinking that we did a pretty good job on this.
Okay.
Suzanne, any more comments?
Yes, I do. I first said this when I was on this board, within the first few months of being on this board for the first time. And what I would really like to see this board do is to bring ideas and concepts and thoughts from ourselves and our neighbors and the people around us in these areas on ways that we could improve the area. I know I spoke to this about one of the past chairmen, and he said, well, you've got board comments to do that. Well, my feeling is that board comments are like, don't take more than 1 minute, we all want to get out of here. So what I would really encourage everybody to think about, I have some things that I've been talking to quite a few of the neighbors that live on Beachside, and we have some pretty good ideas and thoughts about some things we'd like to see done in the neighborhood, and not expensive, but anyway, not real expensive. And so I just would encourage everybody, let's bring those conversations, and when we have board comments, let's talk about, like, Dina, you are always one that always brings up a lot of things that's not on the agenda. In other words, what I'm saying is, let's don't just address what's on the agenda. Yay, nay, and go home. Let's use this as kind of a think tank, and all the people that we represent, like all my neighbors, they talk to me all the time. They kind of count on me. They want me to stand up and say some things for them. So let's try to, do you all agree that that would be a good idea for us to do? What do you think? Well, it's just anything that's effective in the...
Bringing in comments, and if it's something that everybody wants to talk about, everybody's going to put forth their opinion or ideas.
Okay. Well, then, I'm just going to forewarn all of you. The next meeting of board comments, I'm just going to start bringing some thoughts, things that people are saying to me about they think would be great ideas for the neighborhood. Okay.
I just want to make one comment on that, and it's really important for everybody here to, because I know some of you talk to me quite a bit between these meetings, and have ideas, have concerns, whatever it is, and things that we can solve. And we never need to necessarily talk about it here, or for whatever reason. I'm not saying you don't talk about or bring up ideas here. But that in the meantime, if you do pick up the phone, call me, and you have, and I know you and I have talked about, let's get out there with the neighbors. Let's go over these ideas, because some of these things we can implement something right away, or get some, at least some information about it before it gets too far down the road here, and we can hopefully get understanding. I mean, you could come here and say, you know what, we went out, we talked to Reed, he disagrees, whatever. That's fine, But it's a good thing to maybe, try to have that discussion with staff. We're there, and we can maybe do some things much more quickly than waiting every 30 days to
Good.
have a discussion. So I
Good.
encourage that.
Good.
Well, wouldn't we, if we were going to discuss a topic, want to put it on the agenda? So that we know beforehand if we were going to do a streetscape in a certain neighborhood, or someone would like to discuss that, wouldn't we want to get it?
The agendas don't work that way, and because it's not part of the business of the board per se.
Just a dialogue with staff.
Just a dialogue. It's to have that discussion when we have the staff update, to talk about it. Want to talk about something we haven't, but that's the time, or at the board, the comments, to bring it up, and that's fine too. But I always encourage, if there's a concern about the reports that we have, something in the packet, whatever, pick up the phone, call us, and maybe we can save you a few minutes here in the meeting.
Okay.
Okay, Dino? Okay, can you show that? Oh, there it is. The picture. I just want to show the guys leaning up against the sign, because they were attaching it at the time, but that's the little pizza guy that's on top of the Pizza King that we passed at the 2 meetings ago. Okay, I just wanted to show you it.
How big is that nose?
How big is the what?
The nose.
I know. His nose and his stomach's actually bigger than mine, but
Shaped up yours?
I'm telling you, I had to pose for it. But anyways, okay, meeting is now adjourned. Thank you.